Children's encyclopedias.
Oh, hello, Fred. How are you? We haven't seen you for some time. We've missed you.
Hi, Bobby. It's because I'm working now. I found a job 3 weeks ago, and I finish late every day.
If I couldn't come to the pub because of a job, I wouldn't take it.
Well, I was looking for a job for 3 months. I was absolutely depressed. If it hadn't been for my neighbor, I would still be looking for one.
What's the job?
It's door-to-door sales. I sell a very well-known children's encyclopedia.
Oh, but if you organized yourself well, you would still be able to come to the pub in the evenings, as you did before.
No, Bobby. It's precisely in the evenings when I'm busiest, when people finish their work and go back home. Then I find the whole family together, and I go to sell them the encyclopedia.
Oh, I see. What a mess.
I convince the parents that if they don't buy the encyclopedia, their children will be at a disadvantage compared to other children.
God, that's blackmail. And what houses do you go to? Do you go from door to door?
No, not at all. There's a big organization. They give me the addresses where people are already waiting for me.
You mean people are waiting for you to sell them something?
Well, in a way. My company does a lot of advertising in newspapers, magazines, television, radio, and also mailings and delivery of publicity. And all the advertisements, there are leads to send back, asking for more information.
What are leads?
They're those pieces of paper that you cut out and send back asking for more information without any obligation. Or those telephone numbers on radio or TV to phone free of charge for further information about something.
And do they give those leads to the salesman to visit possible buyers?
Exactly. There are 50 salespeople in London, and each one is given 3 leads a day.
And do you have to make 3 visits a day?
On average, yes. I fix the appointments every morning, either from home or from the office. Almost all of them are for the evening. From 5 o'clock onwards, I'm really very busy until 10 o'clock at night.
And how much do they pay you?
I'm on commission. I haven't got a fixed salary. If I sell, I make money. If I don't make anything. But when I sell, they give me £120 per sale. And our aim is to sell 10 encyclopedias a month. If I reach this goal, they pay me an extra £500 prize.
Wow! Let me calculate. That means if you sold 10 encyclopedias this month, you would be making £1,200 plus an extra £500. In total, £1,700 a month. Not bad.
Exactly. And if I sell over 10, they pay me £170 for each one after number 10 instead of 120.
So, how much would you earn if you sold 20 encyclopedias a month?
I've never calculated it, but it would surely be a fortune. We have a very good product and a very good offer. We're the best.
Fred, this all sounds very interesting, but you look so different now.
What do you mean?
I mean that they've changed you in 2 weeks. You look like someone else. You even dress differently, your hairstyle's different. You just talk about work. Look, you haven't even started drinking your beer.
I've had to follow intensive training sessions. You can't imagine what they're like. The whole day in the company with other salesmen. My only topic of conversation for the last 3 weeks has been encyclopedia and children.
Well, but today's Friday, and you finally remembered us, and you've come to see us. And we have the whole weekend ahead of us. Let's drink beer until you forget all about encyclopedias, and then we'll go to have dinner, and after we'll go dancing with our friends.
You're right, Bobby. Maybe I'm a bit too obsessed with the encyclopedias.
Yeah, just a bit. Hey friends, let's make a toast to Fred, who's come back home. To Fred. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, and so say all of us.
Hello, My name is Graham, and I am one of your teachers. Today, we are going to learn about conditionals with the past. Let's start by revising 4 important conditional tenses. These conditional tenses are conditional simple, conditional continuous, conditional perfect, and conditional perfect continuous. I would dance. I would dance every day if you came. I would be dancing. I would be dancing now if you were here. I would have danced. I would have danced if you had come. I would have been dancing. I would have been dancing a lot if you had come. Notice that all these conditional tenses are formed with the modal verb would. So, before we move on, let's quickly revise the modal verb would. Remember that we use the modal verb will to form future tenses. To form conditional tenses, we use the modal verb would. For example, I work is in the present. I will work is in the future, and I would work is in the conditional. Also remember that conditional sentences are commonly used with the conjunction if. Now we're ready to look at the conditional with the simple past and would. In Unit 58, we saw conditional sentences with if plus present plus future with will. For example, if you come, I will dance. We use conditional sentences with the future to talk about the result of a possible action in the future. The important thing to remember about this conditional is that there is a real possibility that the condition will happen. However, to talk about things that will probably not happen, that is, hypothetical events or situations, we use if plus simple past plus conditional with would. For example, if you came, I would dance. So, let's look at examples of the conditional with the simple past. If you saved more, you would have money for your holidays. If I had a lot of money, I would live in the Bahamas. If the children were older, we would go out more. If we went to London, we would speak a lot of English. If she asked me to marry her, I would say yes. What about the conditional with the simple past in the interrogative sentences? In questions, the modal verb would goes before the subject. Look at these examples. What would you buy if you won the lottery? Where would you live if you didn't live in England? What would she do if she lost her job? Who would you choose if you were on the Oscar committee? Remember that we can also use would to make polite requests. For example, would you open the door? And to make offers. For example, would you like another biscuit? Now, we'll look at the conditional in negative sentences. In negative sentences, we use the negative form of the auxiliary verb plus the infinitive. So, did not, didn't plus infinitive. Would not, wouldn't plus infinitive. Were not, weren't plus infinitive. Here are some examples. If we didn't smoke, we would save a lot of money. If she had to work, she wouldn't play so much tennis. If he didn't like his job, he would leave it. If they didn't speak good English, they wouldn't be hostesses. If I weren't a good teacher, I would be an actor. If you were married, I wouldn't invite you to dinner. Finally, we'll look at the conditional versus the subjunctive. The subjunctive is not very common in English. It is sometimes, but rarely, used to indicate uncertainty and hypothetical situations. But these are usually expressed in other ways. We use the simple past. If you studied a lot. There is only one case where the subjunctive is different from the simple past. It is in the first and third person singular of the verb to be. Let's compare simple past, subjunctive. I was, I were. You were, you were. He, she, it was. He, she, it were. We were, we were. You were, you were. They were, they were. Keep on learning English. Take care. Bye-bye.